Hey guys, what's going on? Christina here, and today I want to share with you the story of me and how my whole life and my transition has basically gone so far, starting with how I felt when I was young to where I'm at now. So, like most people, I felt and knew I was different from a very young age. I knew something wasn't right with me, and I didn't know how to describe it. I'd never heard of such a thing. This was, God, when I was 4 years old, so late 80s. I didn't know about this stuff. So I did with whatever I watched and stuff. I wanted to be anything but me. Little Mermaid was a huge movie that I remember seeing before I was in elementary school and was a huge impact on my life because that really made me feel like I was not a part of a world that I belonged to. That it didn't make sense to me. This whole thing it didn't make any sense whatsoever. And so as time went on, I wanted to be, like I said, basically anything but me. I remember telling my kindergarten teacher I wanted to be a shark when I grew up. Like, what kid says that? In all honesty, like, I remember my dad, like, actually being concerned about certain things like that. And so my life went on, and I could say I had a pretty normal childhood. I had great parents, loving parents. They were awesome. And so as time went on, I tried things. Like, I tried Little League. It didn't work out. Like, I remember ripping up grass and just throwing it in the air and twirling around, and those things weren't interesting to me. The sports and all that stuff. I like creative and artsy and music things. Those were the things that I really love that I just really, I don't know, I never got into because I felt disconnected. And so when I started hitting around puberty, 11 or 12, I was in 6th grade, so probably about 12, I started dressing in my mom's clothes because I didn't have a sister, I didn't have anything like that. I had 2 older brothers at the time. Oh yeah, I had I think I'm 10 years older than my sister, so yeah, okay, I had a 2-year-old sister at the time. And it just started making sense to me. Like, this actually sort of feels right. This feels like how I should be. But I closed up inside because while I was dressed and had marker lipstick on my face because I didn't want to mess with anybody's makeup, because then I knew my mom would know, because I was very careful about the clothes and setting everything back exactly where it was, the right drawer, everything. My stepfather came home early and saw me in my clothes, or my mom's clothes. And that was really major to me because then, when my mom got home, she was like freaking out. And I got dragged to a psychologist where I instantly closed up again because I felt like I'd done something wrong. Like, something that just wasn't supposed to be. And I know a lot of you can probably relate to that. Have that feeling of when you probably got caught and you got scolded or dragged wherever, that you felt like you did something wrong. And as a child, you close up on the inside. You really, everything is tight. You don't want to express those feelings anymore. It's a horrible feeling. As I look back, I kind of wish I was able to be more honest, but those are the choices I made. So after that, after I pretty much took, because I associated at the time my gender identity with sexuality, because I thought everybody thought I was gay for wearing women's clothes, I tried to be a masculine person. I tried joining football in my freshman year of high school, and that failed miserably. That was horrible. That was not good. But then I found a niche with wrestling, and I actually kind of really enjoyed that. But in the meantime, I was doing a lot of bowling. Bowling is a sport. Well, I can't really call it a sport. To me, it's like a recreation. Because if you can sit there, smoke and drink and roll a 300, it's not a sport. It's a recreational thing. It's fun. It can be competitive, but it's not really a sport. So when I did wrestling, I kind of found like a niche. It was like the first thing I completed the whole season through. And then when I went back, it didn't feel the same again to me. I felt, I don't know, like, I think I just have a problem with completing things, and that probably has something to do with me, with myself, and how I felt at the time. So then I met someone in high school who I absolutely fell in love with, and it's a good thing that we're still friends. At least I hope so. I mean, I'm trying to repair some bridges because I burned some, she burned some. We had a really, and I'll get to that. But we got married very young, and we had a very rough life because I think I don't know, it was just a series of unfortunate events that things led us through. And then as I tried to be a musician, because that was, the very masculine thing, playing metal guitar, I really played bass, but, because that seemed like the very masculine thing to do. Like, this is something I need to do, because that was what I felt like after I got caught dressing, was I needed to do masculine things. I needed to prove to people that I'm me. So, I mean, I got pretty far into it. Like, I was actually touring states toward the end of my time. We were recording albums, we were doing really well, we were starting to gain popularity. But my problem fell within because I was trying to do all these masculine things. I kept denying who I was. And I found solace in being able to bury my feelings in drugs and alcohol. And girls, if you're still doing that stuff, or you're still having those problems, please, please see someone. It's very important. You should not really have to bury your emotions under that stuff. So I sort of had a mini mental breakdown and I left my band. And just things went on from there. And until finally one day, I basically told my ex-wife, or my wife at the time, that I was trans, and I couldn't deny it anymore. And I think the reason probably why we split up was because once I got it out, I felt like so much time I had to get out. I felt like I needed to experience everything all at once. And I know that's a similar thing a lot of you girls probably feel too when you get it out, especially when you're in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s. You need to experience everything all at once because you've missed out on so much. And, I have regrets that I did that, but at the same time, was kind of a good thing too, because, I mean, it's defined me who I am. That's what it comes down to. It's defining me. It might not work for other people. Like, I try to tell people, like, don't run on your path of transition. Try and stop and smell some of the roses, which I kind of got, like, a year into my transition. Like, I started understanding that, and that's why I sort of was giving people advice towards that. So, we finally divorced at the end of 2012. We had a child. He was a year old at the time. And I think that caused a very bitter dispute between us. And things got very ugly. I think we were at each other's throats for a little while. But I'm really hoping that we've sort of repaired our friendships and we're really starting to rebuild a relationship of co-parenting, which I also believe is very important. And I hope some of you girls, or some of you guys, because I know I'm sort of avoiding that, because hey, if you're trans, you're automatically MTF, right? No, you're genderqueer, you're FTM and everything. So basically, however you identify, I really hope your relationships are working out like that too. Now, as far as I am, it is 2016. I am nearly 3 years on hormones. Yeah. Actually, I'm coming up in my 3rd year on hormones, like next month around this time. And that's been an exciting journey. Like, as you can see, like, I've posted before and after photos on my Facebook. I'll post a couple here. Like, this one is my before, and this one's my after. And it's just, things have been going great for me. I'm actually really happier. I don't really drink that much, except for the occasional bottle of wine. Except for the occasional glass of wine is what I meant to say. And yeah, I don't smoke cigarettes anymore. I don't do the drugs anymore. I'm just overall happier, and just, that's what transition is. Transition is setting yourself free and being who you are and no longer being depressed. And I think that's what some of the cis people and other people who don't understand, who think we're just men wearing dresses, because that's what I wear. I'm wearing a top and a pair of jeans because I wear dresses all the time, right? Never. I really ever wear dresses, even when I worked at Macy's. I rarely wore them. In fact, I really still do. Most of my attire is jeans and a top. It's just, I like these clothes better. I don't know why. They accentuate my personality. They represent who I am. And that's what transition is. That's what it means to be trans, is being yourself. Whoever you want, whoever you are inside is who you are and need to express on the outside. So that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, I'm planning on, some other stuff is kind of personal, and I might get into it later, I might not. But there are some decisions that I have made for my future that is going to be a go. And I'm sure some of you probably understand that, and other people don't. But I really hope you all have a wonderful transition. I really hope some of your guys' transition goes amazingly and it doesn't go as bad as mine. But I shouldn't even say as bad as mine, because my experiences have pretty much made me who I am. And that's the most important thing. You need to take your experiences and you need to realize that they make you who you are. You can pray like, oh, I wish I was born this way, I wish I was born differently. But then you wouldn't be you. You'd be someone else. There's a chance you could be anti-trans. It wouldn't be who you are. So that's what you really need to exemplify, is your own personality and being who you are. I cannot express that enough. I'm pushing it. I'm pushing that. So guys, thank you all for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope share some experiences in the comments. Share your life story in the comments. I really want to hear them. I'm really interested. So I will say goodbye to you all, and as always, bye! I said that twice. Oh, well, you look good. In my head, I'm just thinking, thank you, doctor. Thank you for validating my transiness. Without you agreeing to me that I look good, I had no idea whatsoever.